Hello.
What's up, everybody?
How y'all doing? Good evening. Can y'all hear us? How we look?
Yes. Hey, Queen.
Hi, King.
What's going on?
Yes, we are here. Thank you for tuning in every Tuesday.
Yes, welcome to another week of Ourbondlive.
7 p.m. We streaming live, Facebook land.
Yep.
Twitter,
Periscope,
YouTube,
IG.
Well, we're not live on IG, but we do have an IG
We do
page.
have an IG account.
So share. Okay.
Share.
And thanks for watching. And we are going to just delve right in. Well, first, we always everybody that tunes in might not know who we are. We're the Hardmans, and we have a digital show every Tuesday, like we said, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we like to discuss
different topics,
trending topics that deal with marriage, family, life, parenting, just the full circle of life,
all of it, dating, everything.
So we try to hardmanize it.
Yes.
And hopefully our views will help someone along the way. Yeah.
We're trying to make sure that we're able to share some of the things and lessons that we've learned over the years.
Yes, we've been married 15 years, 4 kids.
Yeah, and so we stay busy, but we have an opportunity to share the wisdom that we've gained over these years to hopefully help somebody else. All right?
Yeah, so the topic tonight. This is a good topic. The topic tonight is, do you appreciate me? Okay?
Yeah.
And so let's show who we're going to be highlighting tonight.
All right.
I love, like we were saying, I love reality TV.
Yeah.
I just do. So Married to Medicine is filmed here in Atlanta, and it's a show that shows the lives of doctors and their wives. So, you know, some of the women are doctors, and then some of the men are doctors. And so this particular couple, Dr. Contessa and Dr. Scott, they're called the Metcalfs.
I think that's Metcalfs.
Metcalfs. They're both physicians. And so let me set this scene up before we watch a video, okay? The video is going to be about a minute and a half, okay? So the scene that, the video that I'm about to show is, she is Dr. Contessa. She is living in Nashville during the week, and she comes home on the weekend. She decided to go back to school, because she wants to change. She wants to change her specialty. Still stay a doctor, but go into the public health field. And so with that, Scott is like a single dad during the week. They have 3 beautiful children. And so she flies in on the weekend. So the scene that you're about to see is of her coming home on a Friday night. Okay?
So you ready to drop it?
Let's drop it.
All right. Here we go.
Yes, where else would I sleep? At Nashville. Hey guys, I brought you guys some food. Yeah!
Y'all seriously acting like y'all hungry and y'all just ate dinner?
Yeah, we ate dinner.
Why you didn't call me and tell me?
We'll save it.
I would have told you they ate dinner.
Oh, you were so silly. So listen, Mommy loves you. I know, I'm not.
I'm about to say you keeping them up.
Okay,
now.
listen, Landon, will you put my backpack up? Go brush your teeth. Want to take these with you? Normally we don't eat in our bedroom, but you can take them with you.
I'm okay.
And...
No.
Love you, Mommy.
They ate enough, honestly. They really did.
Layla, go brush your teeth first. Mommy's coming up. Sorry about the McDonald's. I should have called you and asked you.
You think I ain't fed the kids this late at night?
No, I'm just looking around. You looking overwhelmed. Like you got freaking laundry in the kitchen.
Why don't you realize that's about the 4th or the 5th load that I've done all day? Why don't you realize that when they go to bed, once I tuck them in, the dishes will be clean and the sink will be clean when I go to bed.
That ain't true, though.
It's gonna be. And why don't you realize one thing? I'm working my butt off.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I told you the best plan really would have been for all of us to go to Nashville.
Tess, come on now. Just because you got this harebrained scam to just go to Nashville, you think
Not
I'm
a
gonna
harebrained scam. That's rude.
You made the decision that you were going to Nashville.
We made the decision.
I'm working my ass ass off, and you ain't appreciating it.
I appreciate that.
Appreciate some time to yourself, because you need to go study right now, probably, right? Get some studying in, Tess.
But I got dishes to do and clothes to fold.
Dealing with this stupid boy.
All right.
There was a little bit of language there.
A little bit of language.
But you could see that he was frustrated.
He was hot.
He was hot. Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
That's why.
Our topic
is.
Do you appreciate
me? So let me tell you why we picked this one.
Yeah.
This is near and dear to our heart.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because we saw ourselves in this scene. Now, not necessarily the kitchen scene per se, but
we share a lot of the same.
We share a lot of similar activities. For instance, I switched careers. Mm-hmm. Long time ago, like over 10 years ago.
Yeah,
about 12, 11 years ago. I switched careers, and in doing that, I found a year-long program that I could go to. An accelerated program that I can go to in Nashville to become to get my master's in nursing. Mm-hmm. And so we live here in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. We were not going to move to Nashville, right? At that time, I was pregnant with number 3. Mm-hmm. So we had 2 young girls. How old were they?
2 and 1.
Oh yeah, you remember, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were 2 and 1. So what we would do, and
2.5,
2.5 to 1, and so Dr. Contessa, she's staying in Nashville. So what I would do every Monday morning, I would wake up from our bed around 2-something in the morning, and I would leave the house around 3-something in the morning, drive to Nashville, and arrive for our 8 o'clock for my 8 o'clock class. I would stay there. I rented a room, and I would stay there until Thursday, and then
sometimes Friday. It all depends.
Yeah, you're right. Thursday night, Friday, and then I would come back. I would drive back to Atlanta. Yeah. So during the week, he had both of the girls, and I was studying. So when we saw this scene,
and she had the third one.
And I was pregnant with child during all of that, and then so we did this for a year.
Yeah.
But maybe 3 or 4 months in, I had the third baby. Mm-hmm. Came home for 10 days after giving birth.
Yeah.
And then I went back to take my finals. Mm-hmm. So I left him with 3 babies then. Mm-hmm. Yeah, during the week. So when I saw this scene, I was like,
"Oh my!" From November to May.
So
I know it.
Why he being so specific?
Yes, I have to be specific.
So
y'all can understand the scenario.
So when I saw this scene, I said, "Oh my God. I am her, she is me, he is him." I just, and so we could appreciate the level of frustration. So now let's break this down.
All right. So
your watch party ended. If y'all are watching, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So the scenario just really is about the appreciation factor of sometimes the sacrifice of what goes on behind the scenes to make everything happen.
Right, and so what she didn't see is he had cooked, because the scene didn't show it. He had made steak, asparagus, and mashed potatoes. Yeah. And the kids had already eaten.
Yeah.
They had done their home. Maybe it was on a Thursday night. I don't know. They had done everything, done their homework and all that stuff, and they were ready for bed. And so she comes in.
Yeah.
With McDonald's at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Yeah. And so with that, the whole scenario is now they've already washed. They've pretty much got their homework done because he's done their homework. He's fed them, got them ready for bed, and now she comes walking in with McDonald's. She didn't even call him. And I'll just say this, man. I was hot when I saw this because, number one, he put in a lot of hard work to make sure that the kids were fed, to make sure that they had, done their homework, and they ate, and they were getting ready for bed. They had their night clothes on. Mm-hmm. So it was time for them to go to bed, and then she comes in and all happy-go-lucky. Obviously, she flew in from Nashville, so she wasn't driving like my wife, so there's a difference right there. She has a driver to take her from the airport to the house. That's not my wife's issue. So now she comes home, and then she starts rounding up the kids. He's trying to get them to bed. Okay, cool. You want to see your mom? That's all good. Everything is good. But when she got to the point where he was like, why didn't you call me about the food? You didn't think I would feed them at this time of night, and they wouldn't be fed. So she ignored that, really. And she just kept going with the kids. But then, she was like, well, you could take this to bed with you some French fries. And I was just like, okay, I can feel my pressure starting to rise a little bit, because I'm looking at the situation. I'm like, man, if I was in this situation, how would I react? And then he was like, well, babe, you didn't see all of the stuff that, I'm doing, and I'm working hard. She was like, well, I told you we should go to Nashville. Hold on. First of all, now you're trying to move the whole family to Nashville. The second thing, too, she said, well, you look overwhelmed. He said, well, you didn't give me a chance. This is the fourth load. I washed clothes. And she was like, well, there's dishes in the sink, and this stuff is...
Okay, he's heated. Okay, I
got to calm down. Let me calm down.
Let's break the situation down.
Yeah.
So, sometimes we can be so worked up with the routine of things, and look at how things are supposed to are supposed to be, or how we like stuff. Like when we walk into the house, if we see stuff out of order, or you just start going in. Men can do that, women can do that. In that particular scene, she did that.
Yeah.
I would have thought that if you truly... Now, she admitted she wasn't perfect in that scene, and she's not proud of how she acted in that scene. But sometimes you have to just fall back and pick your battles. Okay, you have to think about, you've been able to be away for a week. School, yes, can be stressful. But working in school and raising kids and all that stuff, that's even more stressful. So she had a whole week to herself to focus on studying. And so... the fact that her husband allowed her or supported her in that speaks volumes
just by itself.
So I would have thought that if you notice that scene, he ain't get no kiss, he ain't get no hug, he ain't get nothing. Now, I know when you see the kids, they're coming up to you hugging, stuff like that. Yeah, we're happy to see mama. But I would have hugged him too. I'm like, hey, babe, how you doing?
Yeah.
Now, granted, the dishes and all of that stuff was messed up because he had just cooked.
Yeah.
We got to sometimes look at a situation as, what is it, like the glass half full, or instead of the glass half empty.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that can save a relationship and not nitpick on everything.
Yeah.
She went in on, she thought they weren't fed some food. She apologized for that. She went in on the cleanliness.
Yeah, she went in on the laundry. Clothes was in the kitchen.
The laundry. He was like, she went all.
I mean,
the basic thing.
Yeah, basically,
they were healthy.
Yeah, nothing wrong. You can always clean up stuff.
You can, yeah.
But and for her to go in like that from the standpoint of, well, you wouldn't get it done. Basically, she said you wouldn't have did the dishes. Basically, she was saying that.
So she should have celebrated him.
Kind of like, it made him feel like, well, why am I doing this? Why am I even, sacrificing and giving you the opportunity to go off when you come home, and then you don't even appreciate everything that has happened behind the scenes all week for that to even happen, for you to even take that time to be in Nashville and studying.
Yeah, and isn't that how a lot of us feel sometimes in relationships?
Yeah.
A lot of times our partners, they don't see sometimes the behind the scenes of what we are doing. Yeah. And then over time, that can build and build and build until you just explode. That he did explode.
Yeah, he exploded. And I think, it could have been the stress. It could have been the stress of the week. He still works a full-time job.
Right, he still works, and they got other businesses.
And they got other things going on, and he's, making sure the kids are there. He didn't hire a nanny, because I know a lot of people who are in that class would have just said, we're hiring a nanny to come. No, they ain't hiring nobody. So obviously, he's the one that's taking the bulk of the duties and the responsibilities around the home to make sure everything is going right. So that means that he's putting in extra work that normally two people share together, but now all of the responsibility and duties are on him. So listen, man, and I can say from my own personal perspective, my wife, she tried to make everything as easy as possible, with her doing cubby holes, with putting Ziploc bags with their outfits and having them labeled Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, giving me, and giving me the opportunity to really try to lessen my load while I'm on this side and while she would be in Nashville. So we shared a lot of experiences, because the whole opportunity of us doing this was, number one, sacrificing now, because
to reap later,
to reap the benefits later. And we knew that if we take this time to really sacrifice like we're sacrificing right now, our girls wouldn't even remember it, and they really don't even remember it.
They don't remember it. That's why we did it at a young age.
So we did it young enough to where they didn't really know what was going on. And then by the time she got back, she would be settled in her career and moving and progressing and growing. So it was a major sacrifice. There were some nights I don't even know how I got to work and how I got home. However, and I think from that perspective, my wife always showed me that she appreciated me. She showed me that she appreciated me and let me know that, for the time that you were able to take of taking care of the kids. Just think, 3 kids under the age of 3.
And on top of that, another reason why I just really appreciated him too, I had no income.
Yeah.
So if I took 100% full time in school, so he had to hold it down. I totally switched careers.
Yeah.
And then I dropped another baby on him.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then, so basically he the one that trained our third child to sleep during the night with the bottle feedings and all of that stuff. He did it. And so then I would on the weekends try to, I would study and try to be super mom, but that was something that we sacrificed for a year. We had a time limit, and I'm like forever grateful for that. And so now my schedule, I'm more flexible now in my career because we made that sacrifice. So let's go into the first question.
So the first question of the night is this. What are some root causes of not appreciating someone?
Okay, that's good. What are the root causes of not appreciating someone? So, if you're on, let's keep the question up there. I know you had a watch party on, and there was an error on your page. I don't know what happened. You want to end it and start it again? Okay. Okay, if you're on his anyway, if you just got kicked off of the watch party on his page, he's gonna start it again. So at any rate, the root cause, like why do read the question again.
What are some root causes of not appreciating someone?
So why do people? So basically, why do you think? And y'all can comment. Why do you think people don't appreciate each other?
Yeah.
They just don't wake up.
Yeah. I think it gradually grows. There's a division that grows. Whether it's from some small instances not being appreciated or not really communicating, or just the relationship is breaking down, and then all of a sudden it gets to a point of where you neglect, or life gets in the way. You got so many activities going on till you really don't take the time to really appreciate and spend time with your spouse. So y'all begin to coexist, and y'all begin to just really just be two ships passing in the night and not really having a relationship with each other. And so
I think too, and y'all can comment why you think one might not appreciate their significant other. I think they may take them for granted.
Yeah, that too.
Sometimes you hear the saying, you take my kindness
for weakness.
Yeah, I think it's sometimes like that. If you're used to that person always coming through for you, always doing what you need for them, you have to really be careful for that. While they're doing that, what are you doing? Are you saying thank you?
Yeah.
Are you showing them that you're appreciating them, or are you just simply taking everything they give? You're just taking it, and not being a giver, and it calls for self-reflection, and because those that you love, you want to nourish.
Yeah.
You want to cherish. So you never want to take someone for granted, and it could be subtle. It can, you might not intend to be that way, but like with life, you're working a lot. You got kids, got activities,
so much going on.
You got, so you're used to them always cooking, or you're used to they're always having something for you, or doing something for you, or you're used to that.
Yeah. And sometimes when it becomes the norm, it becomes normalized.
Expound on that.
All right. So because someone does something over and over again, we automatically think that it's supposed to happen, and therefore we don't really think about the effort that it took for those activities to take place, whatever they're doing. So it becomes normalized. Oh, they always do that, so that's not a big deal. And then we downplay the significance of the work that is being put in by the spouse or your mate. And you don't really think about all of the effort that they're putting behind just doing a simple task.
Yeah.
Washing the clothes is a simple task, but if they do it all the time and we normalize it, then it takes the significance out of what they're doing.
They'll notice if you stop washing.
But they'll notice if why all these clothes around or whatever. So it becomes an issue only when things are not done like they're supposed to be done. But it's never an issue when it's being done.
Right.
It's only when and then that makes me think, do we only notice the negative and we don't celebrate the positive?
But if you appreciate the positive and show that you appreciate the positive, that is a way of celebrating the positive.
Yeah.
That's why I tell my girls, never take for granted that you woke up this morning.
Yeah. Yeah, the smallest.
That wasn't supposed to happen. It was just by the grace of God that did happen.
Yeah.
Just be thankful that you are healthy.
Yeah.
Be thankful, you have food on the table. Just
roof over your head.
That's not supposed to happen. Just it was by the blessings of God that it happened. So if you just celebrate the small things that people that you may think that's small, it could be huge for someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just telling God, thank you.
Thank you.
Telling your mom and your daddy,
thank you.
Thank you. Telling your spouse, just thank you. It's just it's only 2 words.
Yeah.
Just,
thank you.
Just 2, or a smile.
Just a smile. Or a hug.
I love it when when you do that for me.
Yeah.
That makes me feel loved. That makes me feel good. That takes a lot of pressure away from me. Just it's the small things, and you'll be surprised.
And you know, some of the byproducts that come from that, it even gives them more energy to do it.
More.
To do more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to do it more. And I think from that place of feeling appreciated, you feel energized, you feel rejuvenated, and you feel like all of the stuff that you're doing is not in vain. You know, it's not that we seek applause or we seek appreciation, but it does feel good when someone shows you that, you know, appreciation for the work that you've done, or for, you know, just taking the time to even to do the smallest detail. That means a lot. And I think when we are able to show each other appreciation, it just really adds fuel to the relationship. There's a book I read in seminary that was talking about love deposits. And it was talking about when you show someone love, or you compliment them, that's a deposit that's put in. When you appreciate them or celebrate them or do different things, that's a deposit that's put in. But if you begin to take out and don't put anything in, then you become insufficient in your relationship, and there is a deficiency to where the relationship really can't grow like it needs to grow, because it's not being cultivated and nourished. But if you're putting deposits in and you're allowing the relationship to be nourished by depositing different things, it allows the relationship to be cultivated and the environment to be such a good environment that it can grow, it can flourish.
It can grow.
And I think that's what appreciation does to a relationship. When you appreciate your spouse, when you appreciate the one who is there with you, and when you appreciate even the smallest deed, the smallest detail of what they've done, you're actually depositing into the relationship to show that you really care.
So someone might ask, well, how do I do that? Because the question was, what's the root cause, like, of why someone wouldn't appreciate? It could be the way they were brought up.
Yeah, that too. Yeah,
you know,
family history.
Yeah, you just
plays
don't
a lot,
talk.
Plays a major role.
You don't say nothing in the house. It is what it is.
Yeah. No one says I love you. No one says thank you.
Says that.
They just expect it to happen. So all of those things play a major role in how
And I've found over the years too. I know I've seen it in older men. Their way of showing their love for the family sometimes was just providing. Mm-hmm. They might not say the thank you or I love you or stuff like that. They're saying, hey, I'm providing.
You got a roof over your head.
Got a roof over your head. Bringing money to the house. Yeah. And so it's like they expected the house to be in order.
Yeah.
They went out and did everything. So. Yeah. It just depends on the upbringing.
Yeah. So it's time to take a little break.
Oh, what time is it?
7:32.
Oh, cut out the
So it's time.
Okay, so we're gonna take a little commercial break.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll be right back after these short messages.
December 14th at 7 p.m. You are invited to a formal couples holiday celebration with the Hardmans in Atlanta, Georgia. Both married or dating couples are invited to this formal affair. There will be dinner, live entertainment, and dancing. Only $100 per couple. Come join us in this romantic and elegant affair. Tickets are now available on Eventbrite. Search Ourbondlive on December 14th at 7 p.m. Limited seating. Get your tickets early.
Yeah. All right. So we still have tickets available for this. We have a lot planned. So we want, it's just not married couples. It's all couples.
All couples.
Yeah. Engaged, dating.
You got a boo. You can come on out.
Boo thing. They say boo thing. They still say.
You got a bae. You got all that.
Got a bae. Got a honey.
Sweetheart. Whatever.
Sweetheart. Yo.
Come out to our holiday celebration.
Yeah, come out. We would love to see.
We're going to have a lot of fun. Got entertainment. We're going to have a good time dancing.
Yes. So we tickets are selling fast now. Yeah.
And it's limited seating, so please get your tickets. All right.
Okay. So
question number 2. At what point?
I want to read the question.
Go ahead.
Because you read the first question. Yeah, you do it. Okay. At what point do you know that you are unappreciated? At what point do you know that you are unappreciated?
All right. So we want to hear comments if you have any comments. At what point? You read the question, so go ahead and answer.
Really? I got to answer it first. Okay. Anybody want to answer it first? So I don't have to. At what point do you know that you are unappreciated? At what point? The question is, too, do you say something at that point, or do you keep feeling unappreciated? But so, at what point?
What's the determining factor that make you feel like you are not appreciated?
For me, it depends on. I know in our marriage couple session group that we have, we meet every second Friday of the month. We went over. I think in our first month, we went over the different love languages. So. If I'm not, for me personally, if I'm not seeing the appreciation in my love language, I feel unappreciated.
Yeah.
So, for instance, you got the 5 love languages. You got words of affirmation. You have gifts, physical touch, acts of service. And there's a 5th one. There's quality time, right? So one of my main one is words of affirmation. So I'm one of those that you gotta say, I love you, or thank you, babe, or I needed that. Like that makes me feel appreciated. Now, if he was to go out and get me a gift, I would say thank you. But to me, gifts aren't my
Think about it.
Yeah, let's say. Okay, let's just say.
She might have a 1A language and a 1B language.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just say this is what a purpose of it's the purpose of it an example. Okay, not related to me, and just an example. Let's say gifts is not my love language. So if he was to get me a gift, I'd be like, okay, thank you. That make me smile. I'd be happy.
Yeah.
But then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, he still didn't say thank you or anything. But in the back of his mind, he's like, I bought her something. She ought to be all right.
Yeah.
And so that can be the start of the breakdown.
Yeah.
Breakdown in communication.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I feel.
So the breakdown in communication is one of the signs that you would feel unappreciated. That's what you're saying?
If it's not communicated in the way that I understand.
Yeah, so in the language that you receive, and it's not portrayed to you in that way, you would feel unappreciated.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So if I was to answer that question, if I feel depleted, like if I feel like I'm giving out, but I'm not receiving anything in return.
Okay, like the example you gave.
Yeah, it will make me think that man, I'm putting out energy and effort and I'm not getting anything back. I feel like, it's the relationship is one-sided to where, and that would be the point of where I would feel like, man, why do I feel unfulfilled or feel like it's not, like I'm unhappy. I think that unfulfilled, unhappy, depleted, you feel empty because you've poured out so much, but you hadn't been replenished. And I think that would be the point of when you feel unappreciated because, and that's my point of view. I feel like in marriage, in relationships, it's give and take. So it shouldn't be one-sided. There should be a level of where there's give and take. There's you give compliments, you get compliments. You give gifts, you get gifts. You take folk out to eat, you get taken out to eat. I think there should be some level of reciprocity in that whole relationship deal. That not that those conditions have to be there, because we know when we love somebody unconditionally, and that is not based on conditions. If this happens, then that happens. But what I do believe is that when you do feel like you're loving and you're pouring out, and you're not getting in return, and we say that love is what love does. So if a person say that they love me, but they're not showing me through their actions, they're not showing me even in their words of kindness, they're not showing me in how they even, do things for me and put me in their mind and take the time to do something special for your spouse or your significant other, then that's where I think the divide begins to happen.
And okay, you said a lot. And I think that was so profound, because a lot of times I feel in marriages that depletion does happen, but nothing is said.
Nothing is said.
And then that depletion turns into bitterness.
Yeah.
And then when you're fed up, things start happening. Yeah. The enemy can quickly seep into a relationship or a marriage. Because you can easily find that elsewhere. And so it's so important to be so connected. People don't understand. It's so important to be so connected.
So connected
to your spouse. Like you gotta when you're in a relationship, you gotta know, like, I can just look in his eyes and tell something's like he's deep in thought, or he's not feeling his best, or he has a bright idea, or I could just I can look at the way he walks sometimes, or you have to
body language, all of that, facial expressions.
Okay. All of that. You have to really be in tune, because if you accustomed to them looking and acting a certain way, and then it stops. That needs to be addressed. Needs to be addressed, or the behavior changes. Something.
We have to notice our spouses and our significant others. We really have to take inventory on how they act and watch and study them. And this cannot be reiterated. It has to be reiterated so often that I could, just like she said, she knows my triggers. She knows when I'm feeling bad. She knows when I'm deep in thought, or if I got a great idea. She knows when I'm happy. She knows when I'm just frustrated, or I just need some alone time. She knows all of those things, and vice versa, but that goes with time, and that goes with being in a committed, relationship with each other. And so you have to really be able to share and communicate, because relationships are communicative. Relationships, you have to communicate. You have to, even if there's a level of discomfort, you have to communicate. And it kind of goes even to the third point, or our third question. But when you get to that point of feeling like you're unappreciated or undervalued, or where you feel like you're neglected or ignored, you have to say something. Now we're going to the third
question. Okay, I was about to say you going ahead.
Yeah,
so let's go.
You have to say something. So here's the third question.
You gonna read it?
What is the best way to communicate your displeasure? What is the best way to communicate your displeasure? What is the best way to communicate your displeasure? All right.
Oh, we had some comments that I didn't see, baby.
All right, so let's take some time and we can read some of the comments that has been shared.
Okay, so let me so sorry, I'm having technical difficulties tonight. So we have a comment. I know Kendra commented. She said some people do not know how to express appreciation because they don't know what appreciation looks like.
Yeah.
Selfishness is a root cause as well.
Mm-hmm.
A component of appreciation is truly seeing your mate, making sure they feel seen, heard, understood, and valued.
Yeah.
Calm, honestly, and without blaming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
And so and I think all of those are good if they've never been shown or it's never been displayed of how to appreciate someone, then it's kind of like they hadn't seen it, so they can't. It hadn't been modeled for them.
They're
so they
loving.
Really can't.
They're loving you how they know how to love.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's it.
But if you are in that place of where you feeling like you are neglected or unappreciated, then it is only up to you. Have you ever heard of this statement? The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
I've heard of the statement.
So, in other words, if you feel unappreciated, then say something. Now, how you say it will be a direct correlation on how you may get it back. If you say it in a derogatory or in a irritated or frustrated way, and we know that happens because sometimes you're feeling it and sometimes you've been holding it, and I think that becomes another issue too. We hold issues too long until they've bubbled up to the surface, and now you're about to explode because you really didn't address it at the beginning stages when you had an opportunity to address it while you were rational. Now you've allowed those emotions and everything to rile up on the inside of you, and now you've become irrational, so now you spew what you're feeling out of your mouth, and that is definitely not the way
recipe
to
for disaster. Another thing too, in relationships, you really have to be honest with your spouse.
Yeah.
Like for this Scott and Contessa situation, if he was uncomfortable with that type of agreement that they had, he should have addressed and communicated all of his frustrations and all of his thoughts at the beginning.
Yeah.
Because then too, even though yes, she did come to the house wrong, you can't blame her for going to Nashville every week. That's what y'all agreed to.
That's what you agreed to.
So if you're not feeling that, if you don't think that that's best for your family, before you make that agreement, you have to, really maybe that is not the decision for you to make, because it can cause more problems in the end.
Yeah.
So you really have to be mindful of that. You speak your piece at the beginning.
Yeah. And you jumped on a nerve right there, because if you see how he responded, he said, well, you the one that conjured up this scam to go to Nashville. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, ho, but that's rude. And he was like, all right, well, you made it up in your mind that you were going to go. And she was like, no, we agreed. So and so there could have been some underlying resentment, and because he's feeling like he really didn't want it to happen, but he
might have just said
okay, but that might not have been really how he was feeling. And I think in those moments when you're not feeling it, if you have some level of reservation, you need to express it. Sometimes too, and I think in relationships we go along to get along because we don't want to have some level of conflict, and sometimes you can even see his aspect was passive aggressive. Mm-hmm. He was passive maybe when he should have said something in the beginning, but then it turned into an aggressive nature at the end. So you can't always fault, Dr. Contessa on that, because, there may have been some things that she might not have known that he was dealing with.
He was really dealing with.
And now it's all bubbling up to the surface, and now he explodes. Now, so you have to really address that too, because that's where the relationship really communication. I know we do things, and there's some level of sacrifice in relationships where you're not going to always, the conditions are not going to be always perfect for your relationship to still go forward. And there are some concessions that I think each spouse make so that the other spouse can be happy. So I think that happens. So nothing is going to be perfect, but you shouldn't. That's where the give and take. There should be some moments where you might feel like, oh man, okay, I didn't really feel like it, but let's go along with it because I know this is what makes her or him happy. You know what I mean? So there will be some moments where that happens. Mm-hmm. I don't feel like watching this girly movie, but I'll go because I want to be with my wife.
But it's only for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
this is like a major.
But that was a major decision.
So let me tell you this. I think where he's coming from a place, some background too. He's always been the supportive husband. This is season 7. I think I'm married. I don't know. One season, but 2 seasons prior to it, she wanted to quit being a doctor because her kids. She felt that she was not home enough to raise her kids. So he supported her, and he was like, "Okay, now that's 2 incomes.
Yeah.
Now we're going down to 1." But he supported her on that. Yeah. And she quit, and she became a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. Then the next season, you see she's back working. Yeah. She's now part-time because she said she was going crazy. Yeah. There could have been financial too, that's a huge income, but she got back into the field, not full-time, but then she was working. So then I thought everything was good. Then this season, she now leaving the home. So he might, with all of that, he might be like, look, I support you each step of the way. Yeah. And so you don't know how long he's been building up, but then again, you need to
communicate.
You need to communicate, but he's at
yourself.
That's kind of difficult too, because if he didn't support, he would be
looking like he's a bad husband.
Yeah, like, why aren't you trying to support my dreams and stuff like that? Yeah. So that is a difficult situation.
Yeah. So he's kind of like in the catch-22. Mm-hmm. You want to be supportive of your spouse to be able to expand themselves, to follow their dreams, but at the same time, you don't want to feel neglected in the process. And I think to the sacrifice that is being made, especially if you felt like that, okay, because there's been a lot of things that happen,
what baby?
Didn't she get the I was trying to say it, yeah.
I was like, but for seriously, my nursing hat just went on. I didn't know.
About to,
yeah. I was like, oh Lord, what?
No, but I was trying to say it in a respectable way.
She received breast augmentation.
Yeah. Now that might have been something that was significant for him, and for him to enjoy. But let's just keep it real, okay? Let's just keep it real.
I'm sure he enjoyed that one though.
But I'm just saying it was always in the sense what she wanted to do. There's never been, at least Have you seen anything where he said, "Okay, I want to experience this.
No,
I want to explore this"?
They have not. They have not showed that on television.
Yeah, on the show. Have. Maybe he could have.
Yeah, but she did the breast augmentation because she had that breast cancer trait.
Yeah.
In her, so she got them all cut off.
Yeah.
And then,
so. Oh, she had them cut off.
Yeah, but then she got the same day. You can get them put back.
Okay. I was about to. Anyway, all right. But I digress from that. But I'm just saying, seriously, that if a person feels like they're the only ones in the relationship making the concessions and always being the supportive spouse, that can get to a point where they feel like, well, dog,
they're tired.
I'm doing this and I'm supporting. They're going for their dreams, and I'm always feeling like I'm the one that's doing the support, and I'm the one that's always, behind the scenes taking care of the situation. It can get tiring at some time, and then if it goes so long to the point of where they feel neglected, I've seen relationships that at a particular point, I knew a friend of mine who he stayed there until the children got out of college. And once they got out of college, he bought him a BMW or a Mercedes-Benz, divorced his wife, and was out. That's
why they, you always hear those marriages where they've been married like 20-something years.
Yeah.
And then they get a divorce.
Yeah.
I really do believe that a lot of that deals with communication.
Yeah. Unmet
needs, like not expressing it early on, and then you just develop just a sense of bitterness over time. Yeah. So, did we answer the question?
How do you communicate it?
That
Your
was
displeasure?
Okay, that was the question. Okay, we got 4
minutes. 4 minutes. 4.
Man. Was it 5? Was it 5? 4?
Okay.
Anyway, we so how do you communicate it? In a loving way. In a loving way, but you be honest.
Be honest.
Honesty, it might sting initially, but it's overall healthier for the relationship. A little sting, that's like a little mosquito bite or whatever. It over, a couple of days, it gets better.
It's all about your presentation, how you present it. They say you can say more, you can get more with honey than you can with vinegar. And then I think from the standpoint, choose your words carefully, but be expressive in your explanation. Make sure that the other person gets the point of what you're trying to say, but you're doing it in a loving way. You're not trying to, down them or condemn them. You're just trying to show that, hey, there's a moment where I feel like, my needs are not being met and I'm feeling neglected. And so we have to communicate it. And if there's any moment when, and if your spouse is, considerate of your feelings, they're really begin to think, okay, well, maybe I am, ignoring or not appreciating them. And they may have to go back and look at some things. And if they really want to make the relationship work,
you're worth it.
Yeah, you're worth it.
You
are worth it.
You are, you're worth it. And like we had said a few weeks back, your spouse brings out the things in you that need to be developed. Mm-hmm. So if they don't have that quality, of appreciating you like you want to be appreciated, you all can work through that.
Yeah,
it's not the end of the rope. It's not how the relationship is going to end. You can take that and grow from that.
Yeah,
So love is worth fighting for.
Yeah.
Love is really worth fighting for, and it's a beautiful thing when you can walk together and agree. And be one.
Yeah.
I love it. This is good. This is good. So our We got some comments, but sorry we had some technical difficulties tonight.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens. It happens. So we want to invite all couples. If you're married and engaged, or married or engaged, next Friday night, 6:30, October the 11th, we have our October marriage section. We always have
intimate
food,
couple session.
Intimate couple session. What happens in not easily broken marriages stays in not easily broken marriages. So it's a place where you can have fun.
Yeah.
It's a loving, safe environment and be among other couples.
Yeah. And we have a lot of interesting things that go on, and so surprises that take place. So
always, every month is different.
Every month is different, and so we just pray that more and more couples come and be a part, and we have something special in store for each.
So if you want to be a part of that group, you want to get updates and things. So text. It says that on top of the flyer. Text Ourbond to 31996.
Yeah.
Ourbond to 31996
to be a part of our group. All right. So with that being said, guys, thank you for being a part of Ourbondlive tonight. We pray that something was said and done that was able to bless you and show your spouse appreciation.
Yeah. So your homework is
all right.
Okay. This is your homework, y'all. If you're in a relationship. Show your spouse or your significant other some appreciation. If not tonight, this week.
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to be asking y'all if y'all really did that.
All right.
Okay? Love on them.
Be on your game.
All righty.
All right.
Good night.
See you next Tuesday. Peace.